So today I want to talk about a question that was asked in the comment section, and I thought it was actually a great question. So the question was, what would I do if I were to invest in real estate today, given the higher interest rates? So for those of you who don't know, the interest rates when I started investing in real estate, interest rates were around 4% when I bought my first house. I think my second house was 3.75%. My third house was 2.7%. That was actually during COVID when interest rates were at historic lows. And my 20 unit was around 9% a hard money loan. My 26 unit was around 4.25%. And I bought my mobile home park seller financed at 5% interest only. So I bought most of my real estate in 2021, or from 2017 all the way to 2021, and one in 2022. So back then interest rates were great. It was amazing. I was very fortunate at that time, and that's all I really knew. But fast forward to even like July 2023, when I did a cash out refinance on my 20 unit. I had a 9% interest, a hard money loan on it at 9% interest only. And when I did a cash out refinance, my interest rate was around 8%. But given my prior relationship with Bank of the West, which is now Bank of Montreal, or BMO, given my relationship with them, they gave me a bunch of discounts, which dropped me down to 7%. So I had a 7% interest rate in July of 2023, which was considered good at the time. So I was kind of hit with the high interest rate. So it kind of got me thinking back then, like, what would I do if I were to like buy real estate today in this higher interest rate market? So upon thinking about it, the first thing that I would try to do is get off market deals with creative financing. So I bought my 26 unit, my 20 unit, and my mobile home park all off market. I bought the 26 unit using a conventional traditional loan. The mobile home park was seller financed off market, and the 20 unit I bought using a hard money loan. So I've basically been through all three, right? And for me, I love going off market. I have multiple videos talking about why I go off market. Specifically, happy to do another video talking about why I like off market deals. What the key is, you can talk directly with the seller. It's easier to build trust. You're more likely to get a good deal that actually pencils out for you. And also, you can also potentially negotiate, creative financing or seller financing. So the two types of creative financing, the first one is seller carry first. So that means that the owner owns the property free and clear. So there's no debt on the property. So usually the owner owned the piece of real estate for, 20, 30 years. Good chance that the property is paid off, and good chance that there's no loan. So basically the seller can become the bank and they can determine the terms, right? So for me, well, let's say interest rates were 7-8%, I would say, well, obviously I try to negotiate less than that, but if I can't, I'll be like, well, how about you become the bank and you get that 7 to 8% interest, right? Like, why should I pay the bank 7 to 8% interest when I can pay you and you become the bank, right? And that's pretty attractive, right? Like, to get 7 to 8% return on your money, that's what the S&P 500 averages over the long term. So just pitching that idea. But if they do still own the property, or sorry, they still own the property and there's a loan on it, then you can take over that loan subject to, right? So let's say you have a good chance if the owner bought the property from 2017 to 2021, most likely they locked in a good interest rate of 3-4%. So what you would do is you would just take over that loan, you would take over that loan payments, and then whatever purchase price above that loan, you would basically either have to put that money yourself. That's option number one if you have the capital. But if you don't have the capital, what you can do is the seller could do a second lien position note on the property so that you don't have to put down as much money. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you want to buy a $1 million property. The owner has a $500,000 loan at 3% interest, which they locked in. And so basically, if you take over the loan, that's about $500,000, but you still have another $500,000 that either A, you have to put down as a down payment, or B, the seller has to do a second lien position note to reduce your down payment, right? I did this when I sold my mobile home park. So let's just say the seller is willing to carry $400,000 at, let's just make it up, 5% interest. And at that point, you'd have to put $100,000 down to make the deal work. So you put $100,000 down, the seller's carrying $400,000 in second lien position at 5% interest only, and now you take over payments for the $500,000 loan at 3% interest. So, that's how you get a deal that's more leveraged. So it's easier to do these type of deals when you go off market, when you build trust with the owners, and that's how you get these deals, right? So for me, if interest rates are terrible, I don't want to depend on the bank. So I would rather talk with the owners themselves, see if I can do something creative with that. So that's my first option, right? So for me, creative financing is the way to go, especially during this time of high interest rates. If that doesn't work, but you still get a good deal, option 2, which is what I did a lot of, is you want to make sure you buy a good deal, right? You want to make sure you're buying a deal of instant equity day one, which I did, right? Like my 26 unit, I bought for $500,000. It appraised at $750,000. So I made $250,000 equity day one, and I had the ability to double the rents after renovations. So basically, if you double the rents of an apartment complex, then you're going to double the value of the apartment complex. So that helped me increase the value, double the value to about $1.5 to $1.6 million, right? So if I bought this property with $250,000 into equity and had the ability to double the rents, to double the value, it doesn't really matter what the interest rate is, right? Like if I have a deal so amazing, then you can take a hit of having a 7-8% interest rate, right? So that's why I say, like, the strategy that I use and that I teach, it's recession resistant and interest rate agnostic. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. I mean, obviously if the interest rate's lower, it's better. But even if the interest rates go up, the strategy still works. And this is what happened to me during my 20 unit, right? Like I bought it for $350,000. It appraised at $400,000 during the cash out refinance. So I had about $50,000 into equity. I was able to renovate the units, raise the rents by an average about $100 to $150. And upon appraisal, it appraised at $520K, which was a lot less than I expected because interest rates increase so much. When interest rates go up, cap rates go up. If cap rates go up, your apartment values go down, right? So I kind of got screwed by that. But, despite interest rates like going from like 3-4% to 7%, despite that doubling, I was still able to pull half my money that I put into the deal, right? I pulled out half my down payment. I think I had about $200,000 into the deal. And I was able to pull out $80,000, so I left $120K into the deal. But, I mean, that sounds terrible to some people, but hey, like if interest rates drop in like 2-3 years to 5%, I'm going to do another cash out refinance and pull out the remaining $120,000 in the deal, and I have $0 in the deal, right? So you really have to think long term. So if you buy off-market real estate of instant equity day one, and you have the ability to do a value add plan by doing renovations and raising the rents up to market rent, and if you have a long-term time horizon, so like, okay, maybe during the first cash out refinance you pull out half your money, but maybe you wait another 2-3 years, interest rates drop down, you do another cash out refinance, right? And then you'll pull out your remaining money. So it's really thinking longer term, right? But if you do that strategy, buying of instant equity, having the ability to force appreciation, you'll never lose whatever the interest rates are, right? And I'm proof of that. I've done that with my deals. So, to kind of summarize the story, what I would do is, if I were to start now, is number one, get creative finance deals off market, right? Seller carry first if they own it free and clear, or take over the property subject to of a second lien position if they still have a loan on the property. The other strategy is to get off market deals and buy instant equity day one, so you're buying it right, and have the ability to raise the rents, which will increase the value. At that point, you can do a cash out refinance, pull out some of your money, wait for interest rates to go down again, and then pull out the rest of your money once interest rates drop to below 5%. So hopefully you found value from this video. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.